Hey, what's up, you guys? Daniel Moss here, 20-year homeschooling dad and lover of personal growth and learning and community and YouTube and all kinds of stuff. And I've been kind of on this little bit of a like commentary slash reaction video type kick lately, and that's another video I got for you today. It's a short one. And again, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this video and see if there's any other, like, because I'm gonna drop my 2 cents on this thing, and good, bad, or otherwise. But I want to know what your thoughts are. Like, what do you think? Is there something like, you think to yourself, oh man, and on that part right there, I would have said this or something like that, or this recalls this memory or whatever. Let me know what you got going on, what you're thinking. And but here we go. Without further ado,
I think there's really only one thing separating you from you and the life that you really want to live.
one thing separating me from me and the life I want to live. Well, any guesses what that would be? So drop that in the comments. But I think for me, like, before I hear what this kid's got to say, the thing separating me from the life I want to live is, if I'm understanding what he's saying, is I think if I boiled it down, it's really gonna come down to this, like, deep-seated, like, fixed mindset that I've operated with my whole life up until, 45 years, like 1 year ago when I turned 45, and I finally, like, learned about this concept of, I used to hear a lot as a kid, "Oh, think positive, think positive." That just really sounded like stupid, like, hocus pocus, just think positive, think positive. It didn't really mean anything to me, and it still kinda doesn't mean much to me, but when you attach it to a stronger concept, like having a growth mindset, now all of a sudden thinking positive does mean something, because now I understand we're talking about having a growth mindset, which means a lot of things. Um, but what also, like, in addition to being positive, it means, you know, like, always believing that you can figure a thing out, always believing that, that you have the ability to grow and to try different things, and as long as you stick with something and you really apply yourself, you can achieve all kinds of different things in your life. And I did a video before on, like, growth mindset and how, like, a fixed mindset, the inverse of it, of a growth mindset, a fixed mindset can lead to a lot of different problems, relational problems. Okay, I had someone recently telling me how they're on a dating website, and this is all long-winded, but I don't know why I'm going on this rant right now, but they're on this dating website, and they were talking about how, they're in their 60s, and they're like, man, I think to myself how I got divorced 40 years ago to that guy, that loser, and if that dude, he left me, and if he left me, like, how bad am I? Like, what kind of chance do I got on a dating website? And I'm like, listen, like, that was 40 years ago. You're operating from a fixed mindset if you think that the person you were 40 years ago, who couldn't keep, and I'm sure there was a lot more going on besides you weren't good enough to keep them around. There's a lot going on there, but let's just say you weren't good enough to keep them around. You're not that person. You've grown. You've changed. So that's a fixed mindset. And so we do that kind of stuff. And a lot of times that fixed mindset will be the thing that makes us kind of stay where we are. It makes us afraid to try things and do things. And so I know for me, that would be my answer, is the one thing in my way is that freaking fixed mindset. And that's what I work on all the time to put, kind of keep at bay, and operate from a growth mindset.
I know exactly how it feels to have these big goals and dreams, but have no clue how to actually reach them. It seems like years keep passing and I make very little progress. Trust me when I tell you, I'm not here to waste your time. I've seen a lot of similar videos to this one. They got me inspired for maybe a day, and then that motivation went away again. So is there actually a solution to all this? Or are you always going to feel overwhelmed by your
Yeah, because that's, yeah, like, if you're just getting, like, your little hype fix, and it's just like all inspirational words, there's, like, YouTube channels out there that's all they do is they just fill you up with just inspirational words. But really, it's going to come down to doing the work, that mental work on capturing those negative thoughts, those limiting beliefs, and those lies and those stories that you tell yourself, capturing those suckers, throwing them in the waste bin, replacing them with um, replacing them with more true stories, like real things, like, hey, I can do this. I just got to stick with it. Right. And just replay. And it's not, you're not always going to feel it. You're not always going to feel good. You can't rely on the feelings. You got to overcome the feelings. You got to go past the feelings, and you got to hold and cling to those new beliefs, those true stories about what you can and cannot, or what you can do, and and so, yeah, if we're just going to the internet trying to get our fix, our hype, then that's going to be very fleeting, because we're just looking for that emotional, like, charge. It's kind of like a lot of times with Sunday church service. A lot of times people are going there just to get that emotional, like, oh, I feel connected with God, and then they go home that day, or they go to lunch right after, and then it's like they just, like, forget it. Their emotional high is gone, and then they just out the window the whole thing, and then it's like they got to get their emotional high again next Sunday. So um we got to be careful about chasing those emotional highs, and aiming at more like a more principled, reasoned, um properly, like, kind of constructed understanding of reality, ourselves, our abilities, things like that. So
Goals and your dreams. The video you're watching right now almost didn't get recorded at all. I thought, this idea has already been made. No need for me to waste my time in trying to make my own version. But then I thought,
yeah, that's why I'm piggybacking this guy's, you know what I'm saying?
no, this is something I really want to say. This message has actually had an impact on my life. So why would I not say this if I truly believed it could help someone or even change their life? So I've been trying really hard to figure out what it is exactly that prevents me from making progress on something, especially my goals and dreams. And I think I figured it out.
Lack of motivation always seems to be the thing that prevents me from moving forward. And that lack of motivation usually comes from not feeling motivated. I think that's the major flaw. I was letting my feelings dictate what I was able to accomplish
Ding,
instead of
ding, ding, ding,
actually
ding.
taking action.
If I take action on a creative idea, my feelings will normally follow. But if I wait to feel inspired to take action, I usually don't act at all.
You can't control when you're going to feel inspired, but you can control when you're going to actually start doing something and take action.
When it comes to my goals, if I zoom out too far and think about the big picture too much, I don't accomplish anything at all. But when I focus on one thing and accomplish one small thing, I'm able to be productive. That's the key. Taking action first, not waiting for the perfect moment, not waiting for motivation to magically show up, just starting. Because momentum doesn't come from waiting, it comes from doing. Think about it. How many times have you sat around waiting to feel inspired only to waste hours?
As a homeschooling dad for 20 years, there's like a dark place that realizing, oh my gosh, I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling dad. It can take you to. There's something really beautiful about being a stay-at-home homeschooling dad. Don't get me wrong. I got to spend all that time with my kids, something that I got to give my kids something I didn't have, because I didn't have any man in my life really give a damn about me. And there's something beautiful about that. That was a goal of mine, is like, I'm going to give my kids, I'm going to undo the wrongs. I'm going to right the wrongs that were done for me. Cool. I love it. Beautiful. But I went to some dark places sometimes, knowing like my wife's the breadwinner and I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling dad. And every time I met some dude and he's some other father or whatever, some guy at church or on the basketball court or whatever, yeah, what do you do for a living? I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling dad. My wife does the living and takes care of me. Right? It's like a hard pill to swallow at times. There was a lot of days where I would lay in bed and just not want to get out of bed. I wouldn't be able to fall asleep till 4 or 5 in the morning. And in the back of my head, I would say to myself, so what? Who cares? Tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Who cares about tomorrow? Um, I'll just stay up right now. Doesn't matter. Tomorrow, I'll just piss the day away. I'll wake up whenever I want. And if I wake up early and I'm tired and I can't handle the day, so what? I'll just literally piss the day away. I doesn't matter. Like, we'll do homeschools type stuff the next day, whatever, only to keep repeating that cycle over and over and over and over and over again. I know what it's like to be in that kind of rut. I mean, there was so many times where I would literally just think to myself, "Gosh, I just wish I would die." Like I could never do it. I could never pull the trigger. I can, the proverbial trigger. I could never do it. But there were definitely times where I just thought, "Man, life would just be so much easier if somehow I could just get like removed from planet Earth. Like I wouldn't have to worry about anything anymore. I'd just be done. Maybe my family would benefit. They get the life insurance, whatever. And there's a lot of that kind of stuff. So yeah, and I would lay there and I would think to myself, man, I don't, what am I living for? What am I even, what's the point? Like I want to have something I'm passionate about. I want to have something I'm working toward. I want to have, like all I do every day is just look after other people and that's it. And it's a thankless job and it's, and I sound like I'm probably that I probably sound really terrible right now, but I'm just being really honest how I thought for a long time. I don't think that way anymore. Um, and I think the lessons that this kid is giving in this video are I think it's a beautiful lesson. I think he's absolutely right. And that's what I needed to hear when I was, 25, 30, 35 years old, homeschooling my kids, feeling really depressed and just kind of like detached from the world and not giving a hoot about anything, right? And I just needed to hear that. I needed to hear, dude, you just got to move. You just got to do something, and you'll start to create the motion. You'll start to create the passion, the desire, the excitement, the fervor for life. And beautiful message. I really appreciate this kid for having the wisdom at this young of an age to see that.
For scrolling and procrastinating, or convincing yourself that now just isn't the right time. That's a cycle that keeps you stuck. That's a cycle that kept me stuck. But the moment you begin, even when you don't feel like it, something shifts. Your brain kicks into gear and your energy always seems to follow. One small step leads to another. So instead of overthinking, instead of waiting to feel ready, just take one small step.
The thing is, I can't
I've always had, I'm interrupting the kid. I've always had this weird like cost benefit cost benefit analysis type brain where I would say to myself like, all right, like I don't know, as an example, let's say I think 20, 15, 20 years ago, I'm thinking, well, I guess maybe I could build a piece of furniture, I guess like go down to, Lowe's and pick up some lumber or something like that and just do some crude, piece of furniture and maybe learn a thing or two about how to like put it together and stain it or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, like maybe there's some value in that. Maybe that creates some kind of momentum, but I don't really get the big deal. Like it just seems like I'd be doing all that for nothing, for nothing. And and so I would get stuck there because it was like, well, what's the point though? Like what's the end goal? What's the point? So like, wow, let's say I get a piece of furniture. So what? I couldn't see how it really wasn't about the damn furniture. It really wasn't about that. It wasn't about that. It was about doing. It was about doing. It was about the fact that I got out of the house. I went down to Lowe's. I looked. I took in information. I made a choice about what stain, about what lumber, about what fasteners. I brought that stuff home. I committed to a thing. I made the cuts. I made the holes. I fastened. I stained. I sanded. I did all these different things that maybe I didn't know I needed to do those things, but I figured them out, and I stuck with the project and I did it. And now I have something. But I don't just have a piece of furniture. I have a memory. I have the lesson that I taught myself that I can do something, that at any moment I can do something. I'm in control of that. Right now, today, it's just this little piece of furniture, but I'm in control of that. Instead of just laying in bed and just hoping that somehow miraculously something would just fall from the sky, some clouds apart, and some light would shine down on something right in front of me and say, "Oh, this is the thing that you need to do. This is your passion, Daniel." Right? It doesn't work that way. If I think that way, which is what I was doing, laying around, moping, wanting to die, I was waiting for it to happen to me. That meant I gave over all my autonomy and all my ability as a man to be able to take action and move forward and do something. And that's a place of victimhood. I created victimhood in my own life. And victimhood definitely leads toward depression, inaction, doom scrolling. Victimhood is a terrible, like, rotten disease that we don't have to be there. We don't have to be there. Yeah, it's just a piece of furniture, but dang it, I took action and I moved. And that's the beautiful thing about it. I get to choose. I get to take action. And also I got a piece of furniture, and I got some lessons, and maybe I got some time with my kids. And maybe now my wife's proud of me because I got a piece of furniture in the home that she's going to cherish for the rest of her life. Maybe I now know something that I can use in another way that could lead to a business opportunity. You never know, but if all I get is the message and the lesson that I am in control and I get to step forward. Beautiful, powerful.
Tell you exactly what that step is for you, but I think if you thought about it, you could figure out one small thing to do today that would move you in a positive direction.
It could even change your life. Because here's the truth. It doesn't have to be perfectly planned out and strategic.
Doesn't.
It just has to begin. And once you do, the inspiration will come.
So that's not the same kid, right? I don't know if anyone else has seen that. But I love that. It doesn't have to be perfectly planned out. It doesn't even really have to be very much planned out. That's where you get into that place of analysis paralysis and all that. You just have to move. You just have to understand that you can move. Just move and do it. It could be as simple as reading a freaking book. It could be, and if you want some great books, leave a comment. Ask me if you need a book recommendation because I've read a bunch, and I could definitely recommend some books that'll light a fire under your butt. Um, and so it could be that. It could be read a book, man. That's like, and you could just get in your pajamas and just cozy up and read that book. But that book is going to do something to you, and it's something instead of just doom scrolling, right? Brainlessly. I know you're expanding your mind. Really powerful stuff. So it could be simple, could be anything. Doesn't have to be planned. You don't have to read the book with the plan to use it to launch this giant corporation that's going to change the world. Doesn't have to be elaborate. Just reading a freaking book. Just one little step. Just trying to make one little step, one little improvement to who you are today by making one little step, one little action.
Energy will follow. It always does. So what is the one thing that's separating you from you and the life you know you want to live? It's taking action. The difference between those who actually create and make things versus those who only dream about creating is taking action. It's taking that first step. The sad truth is, most of you watching this right now may not even take that first step. If there's one thing that I can encourage you with as someone who doesn't know you, will probably never know you, but who wants the best for you is this. Today, take one small step in actually doing something and not just dreaming about it.
Damn, that sounds like pie in the sky. Maybe you're feeling really depressed right now and you're feeling defeated and you're feeling overwhelmed and I can't do it and I got all this debt and my wife and kids left me and this and that. I don't know. I know, and I've been in these really dark and ugly places, um, where it literally feels impossible. And to have somebody say to me, "Just take a step and do something," would just sound like such damn stupid, foolish nonsense. Like I get it. I truly get it. But now I've been on that side of it and now I'm on this side of it and truly it is going to come down to the decision to make a step at some point. You maybe not right now. Maybe today you're saying, I just can't do it right this second. I can't. And that's okay if that's what you choose to do. I'm I'm kind of the belief in the mindset that says like that's an excuse, like you're clinging to a pain, you're clinging to, and I don't know your situation. I'm not trying to get into clinical things and all that. I'm not. I'm just saying like by and large what I've observed in my life is people clinging to their victimhood, clinging to and this like entitlement in that zone. And that it's just like wanting everybody to go, oh, woe is you, woe is you, woe is you. But it just perpetuates the problem. And at some point you have to just say enough's enough. It's like forgiveness. The same thing with forgiveness. Like someone hurts you and you're going to cling to that victimhood, that pain. Oh, you this, you, and you're going to do all that, right? And it's like, or you could just forgive. And the thing about forgiving is really something that you do here inside. It's what you do. It's a choice you make with your relationship to that thing that has happened to you, so that you're no longer a victim anymore. And when it comes to finding your passion or moving forward in life, having changing your life, your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, and all that, it's not going to come down to forgiveness necessarily. It's going to come down to a first step. And so the longer you cling to your victimness, your victimhood, and you don't make the step or you don't do the forgiving, is the longer you keep yourself down in that place of despair and you just deepen the pain of it. I'm of the belief too that eventually that pain is going to get so much that you're going to have a breaking point where I don't know, horrible, unspeakable things happen to people in that place. But then also that can be where the light shines brightest too. So I don't know. I just don't think you have to get there. You could step today and do it today. And so what's your thing? What's stopping you? What's holding you back from it? I told you what's always gotten in my way of my dreams is that fixed mindset that I operate from, and a lot of things that spin off of that perfectionism and just so much yucky stuff from that. But mine is a fixed mindset, a belief that I'm not good enough, that I'm a loser. And I got that when I was a kid. People abandoning me, my biological father abandoning me when I was a kid, my stepdad abandoning me, my mom and her boyfriends, doing drugs, um, my uncle not really being in the picture at all, like just nobody was there for me at all. Like I didn't have a man in my life. I didn't have anybody. My mom was there and she did make some changes in her life, thank God. Um, but outside of her, that was really kind of the only person I had in my life. And yeah, and so I grew up really believing between that and my experience with school that I was a loser, and I thought for sure that that's what I was, and I got sick and tired of that message, so I wouldn't try things. I didn't want to try. I don't want to take a damn first step because what if I go build that furniture and it looks like crap? Now I see I'm just a loser. I'm a loser, man. And it's just more proof that I'm a loser. And I didn't want that. So I wouldn't take first steps. And that's how I got myself into that damn rut. What's your thing? What's holding you back? What's the thing that causes you to not take the first step? What is it? Yeah, leave it in the comments if you can. Um, I plan on when this video posts, I'm going to stick around for an hour and I'll chit chat with you, and we'll talk about some of the stuff. I'll be open and transparent. Let's go. Um, I think the world needs more positivity, more encouragement, and so that's one of the things that I really aim to do with this channel is bring some positivity and encouragement into this world, in a real way. Like you're a human being. I don't know you through this lens. I have no idea, but what I do know is you're a human being. I do believe that you're worth loving, I don't know what you had going on in your life and I don't know what stories you tell yourself, but you're worth loving. I believe that 100%. And so let's chit chat on the comments. It's kind of a crude way to do it, probably, but I'll be there. And let me know what your thoughts are on the video and what you got going on. Thank you for making it this far. Take care. Have a good day.